acceptance, which is a widely talked about thing in the spiritual community. Well, of course, here we go. And acceptance is something that we're taught to accept. Acceptance. Accept the way things are. Surrender to the universe, right? Well, I'm very contrary to that. I think it's totally acceptable to not accept things. And what I'm talking about as far as things is desires and things that we experience. Here, I'll just use an example. How about jealousy? Where an argument could be made. Well, it's like jealousy is just, it's a symptom that you love someone, right? I don't think to love someone you need to feel jealousy. That's my argument. And I think it's totally acceptable to not accept things, or to not accept that. And I don't want to feel the primal nagging of like sexual urges or things like that. And I'm subjected to it, just like almost everyone else, I'll say. And I think that is such an inherent part of life that we just, like, I haven't found anyone else talking about this. But not only do I not accept it, I choose not to accept it. And, you know, it's audacious or whatever, but it's my sentient right as a sovereign being to choose how I want to feel. And I don't want invasive feelings. I don't want invasive thoughts. That's not acceptable to me. That is actually downright rapey. As far as my soul, my being, my spirit, I don't want invasive feelings and things like that. Like, does that make sense? And I want to make a video about this because I think it should be talked about. It's not that I would just want to feel good all the time. Like, I'd want challenges, you know? But not this dynamic. I want a different dynamic. I want to learn, but I don't want to learn this way. And what I mean by this way is the way that we learn here, through this like repetitiveness that happens over and over, something we've already learned, and then there's a slightly different iteration of it. I'm not convinced. And maybe I'll change my viewpoint, but it's crystallized to this point more and more throughout the years. And for those who've known me in the before times, when I would just, it's like surrender to the universe or confess to God or like all that insipid stuff, is like, no, like stand up for yourself. We don't know what's out there. It's a very convoluted world here, and it's important to recognize that you have a choice, and not only what you want to do, but how you want to feel. And sure, maybe some people would just choose the hedonistic road of just feeling good all the time. But also, that's fine too. People choose not to grow anyways here, but just because you choose not to grow doesn't mean you have to like stay in pain. Like, it's like, why do you have to shame pleasure so much? I think there should be more pleasure, and we should enjoy more pleasure and not be so resistant to pleasure itself. We don't even know the spectrum of pleasure. Like, it's so trendy to say, oh, well, if, you know, things were easy, it'd just be so boring. It's like, you don't know that. It's like things could be easy and tough at the same, or enjoyable, but also challenging. It's like a challenge that you accept as opposed to a challenge that you reject. It's pretty much that simple. I just choose the challenges in life that I want to accept. And that's my disposition in life. That's just where I'm at. And it's totally valid. And I've learned that through the felt presence of immediate experience, which is another term for empirical evidence. Empirical evidence as far as the science of the way I feel. I use the term science because science is thought of as truth. And if science is truth, the science we don't know yet is just the science we don't know. It's just something we're too limited to understand. And I'm definitely going to be talking more about this, so stay tuned.